This is what I realized. First, that the relationship I have with Ursula is ideal of a coworker, probably closer than I'd want with a coworker, but like we have banter and stuff like that. But more importantly, tonight I realized that she is the only person that makes me take my disability seriously because she takes it seriously. Like, if it's my dad, I'm like, well, that's my dad. He's making excuses for me. If it's my disability advisor, I'm like, well, that's my disability advisor. Like, of course they're going to be like, affirmative, supporting me. But she just does it so matter of factly. Like, I told her she was insane for working 4 out of 5 days out of the week in addition to being a part-time student. And she says, I'm like, well, I don't have like a registered disability or five. And I was like, that's true. And I said like, haha, whatever. Um, but just the fact that she said it just like that, like, oh, like that's just fact. Like, I understand that I'm on this different level than you. Like, you can't compare us. Like, no one else does that. And I wish I had the ability to do that, because if I had the ability to do that, then I'd probably feel better about myself. Um, but yeah, I just think that's really interesting. Like, she doesn't, and we've never had like a heart to heart about my disabilities or anything. When it's come up, I've explained to her, like, oh, I can't write emails, like I'm freaking out, or she's seen me freak out. I can't remember when, but she saw me freak out one time, and or or like or prior to a WIC event, she'll see me being like, oh my god, like people like and she'll be like, it's gonna be okay. Um, but we've never like sat down and like cried together or like something like that. I mean, we've gone to. I remember at Grace Hopper, we went to the bar, and I think I probably spilled my guts a little bit. But I mean, no tears were shed. And I mean, she didn't share anything about it herself, I recall. um, so it's not like we have like this deep like friendship bond. She just like understands like, well, like Liz has like a disability, and like therefore I'm gonna remind her that like she can't compare us. And I really like that, and I wish that more people were like that. I wish that I could be like that. It's really weird because I didn't consider her like one of my best friends, but she knows me in ways that are like more intimate than like Molly or Lauren or Jason sometimes, and it's very bizarre. Um, so yeah, that's it. I just watched my own video, and I'm entranced by myself because I'm egocentric or something. I'm in the pre-operational stage of Piaget's levels of cognitive whatever. Um, JK, hopefully. That would be really sad if I was still pre-operational. That should wear off when you're like 7. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to think about why. Why? I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense why Ursula's voice is like the only voice that like rings true to me out of all the voices telling me like it's not your fault, or like similar messages like, oh, well, consider you have a disability, like, oh, well, consider you have it, blah, blah, blah. It's like those are all essentially saying like lower your standards, or not lower your standards, but remember that, take those into consideration when you're comparing yourself to others who don't have those things. who probably don't have those things, because I mean, like, a lot of disabilities are invisible, right? I don't know why this is bothering me so much. I guess the fact that maybe it's the fact that only like one person out of like, all the people I've interacted with, all like the professors or like the classmates, one person is like, oh, well, you have OCD and you have ADD and you have depression and you have anxiety and you have Asperger's or whatever else. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't actually been diagnosed with Asperger's, but I think I have it. Maybe it's the fact that just that one person is saying like, well, you have that, so like you can't compare like my performance level to your performance level. Like it doesn't matter how intelligent we are. Like you can't compare them. It's really really meaningful to me. In comparison to all the professors that haven't understood, even though they're like under like a legal obligation to understand, and my bosses who haven't understood, even though they're also technically under a legal obligation to understand, but clearly did not. All the friends or potential friends, there's like the friends that I've isolated that like I was close to, and then like I got weirder and weirder and I don't blame them for being like, I can't handle this crazy person anymore. And there's the friends that I could never even make that because I was too OCD, I was too anxious, and I just sent off the wrong vibes when I was at Michigan State, when I was here, when I transferred here. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. That it's only one person. And that distinction makes it really memorable. I mean, Uri was pretty understanding when I got an extension from him. He was like, oh, like, what's your disability? And I'm like, well, you can't really ask that. But I'm comfortable, so I'll tell you. Because I love schooling people. I should get in touch with that guy from Lyme again. But anyway, look at my tattoo. Okay, anyway, he was like, I explained to him, he just wanted to understand, and he was just like, well, I can't apologize for the way I teach the course, but I don't want to exacerbate your symptoms, or something to that effect, and so I'll give you, like, this extra time. But I guess the lack of asking probing questions, maybe that's what matters. Like, she doesn't ask, like, well, why do you feel this way? Or, like, why can't you just do it? Like, she just is like, well, clearly you're having an issue. It's really important. I wish I could, like, write a review for her, like, about that. Like, I don't know how I would do that, but, yeah, and I wish that more people could look past that, could look past the fact that, like, well, you're just having an issue with this. Let's figure out a way to work around it. Like Ursula always offers, like, oh, well, I'll write the email. Like, let's discuss the next issue. Like, let's figure out the next time to meet. Like, let's, we work together. And I feel like many others that I've encountered in the workplace or in the school environment are just like, no, I only know how to interact this one way and follow this, like, one script. And I can't adapt to anyone that is doing something outside of that. I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking about it.